there seems to be just a little speed bump in the inevitability of President Hillary Clinton. And it's not Chris Christie, who's not only larger than a speed bump, but also more suited to being Hillary's vice president, frankly, than her so-called conservative opposition. No, this threat actually comes from the left. New Republic magazine featured an article saying that Hillary, who's already laying the groundwork for a second historic vote, has more to fear from Elizabeth Warren, of all people. You remember Elizabeth Warren, the Sacagawea of Harvard. Let's bring in Steve Green and Scott Ott to help me bear the burden of telling you about yet another step on the road to our glorious workers' paradise. Gentlemen, welcome. Hillary is already preparing the 2016 presidential battle space. She's about to launch her very own Glass Ceilings tour, in which she and Bill and Chelsea will tour the climate-changing planet, lamenting the horrible, terrible, repressive misogyny that keeps women barefoot and pregnant at the head of the State Department. Now, Scott, once the case has been made that a hard-working dame can't get a fair shake in a man's world, what, pray tell, do you imagine the remedy to this grave and historic social ill might be?
Well, this is going to be a tough case for her to make if it winds up that her opponent in the primary is a prominent female. You know, that's then who's aggrieved? Who's aggrieved more? I mean, frankly, Elizabeth Warren has come out of nowhere in a sense. I mean, she's come out of academia, and she is, as far as I can tell, Woodrow Wilson in a buckskin skirt. Or perhaps 1/32nd of a buckskin skirt. And I do think that she accurately represents the hard left progressive element of the Democratic Party who would love nothing better than to have another Woodrow Wilson. I think she's going to have a hard time resonating with mainstream rank and file Democrats if they still have any control over their party. And I will make this prediction today. Hillary Clinton will never be president of the United States, and she will probably not be the nominee of her party.
Kind of agree with that, actually. And God knows what America needs now is a more progressive Harvard professor type. Steve, you know, the New Republic article says that modern women are more radical than their elders. They're openly preferring socialism to capitalism and see Elizabeth Warren, not Hillary Clinton, as their new standard bearer. So my question for you, Steve Green, is, could we be this lucky?
You know, according to family lore, I am 1/32nd sober, but that's not from my mother's side. Yeah, I have so many thoughts on this one. How do you say jump the shark? How do you say jump the shark in Cherokee? What are the odds of a first-term junior blue state senator knocking Hillary Clinton off in the Democratic primaries? But you know what it boils down to? Elizabeth Warren is the future of the Democrat Party. Maybe not exactly her, specifically her, but somebody just like her. Because there's no young Bill Clinton to pull the party back to the center. I can't think of a blue state governor success story to catapult into the nomination. And there's a reason all the big-name Democrats, including the president right now, are either coming from or going into the Senate. And that's because senators don't actually have to do anything. They don't have to govern. This party's moved so far to the left that they can't govern successfully. But they can sure as hell go to the Senate and flap their jaws at the rest of us. That's how we got Obamacare. And it's how we're going to get either Elizabeth Warren or her spiritual brother or sister.
How is Elizabeth Warren going to pull this off? How? Had to go there. You know, my friends, I've had enough of grievance politics. Criticism of Barack Obama's ruinous spending, his health care, and foreign policies are, of course, nothing more than racism. Criticism of President Hillary Clinton or President Elizabeth Warren's policies will, of course, be sexist and misogynist. Like all the rest of political correctness, is just bullying, pure and simple, and it's worse than that. Goes to show that if you're a progressive politician, at least that blacks and women are too weak and they're too fragile and they're too incompetent to be judged on their own merits and criticized for their own policy. It's a call to put out of bounds any criticism of their actions, which is sort of a way of saying that they're not mature enough, they're not smart enough, they're not tough enough to handle those legitimate criticisms. So, Hillary, Liz, you're running for the top job in the world. Man up, you weaklings. For PJTV, I'm Bill Whittle.